My name is Melissa Ubeda.
And my name is Melissa Martinez.
And you're watching the Latin American News Channel. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, and it is 8 a.m.
Today we'll be talking about the Colombian rebel group, the FARC, the political issues in Brazil, and the women's struggle in Honduras. On a lighter note, we will also be talking about the amazing vacation spots in Uruguay. And now on to Irene on more details about the FARC.
In other news, Colombia continues to struggle with rebel group the FARC. Over 7 million people have proceeded to register as victims to the conflict, and the latest attack has been on 10 Colombian soldiers. The government responded with continuous airstrikes in their barracks, despite the agreement back in 2012 to meet in Cuba a neutral environment to handle any disputes. To the public's surprise, the FARC has invited newly crowned Miss Universe Paulina Vega to a meeting in Cuba, since she has openly expressed desire to be involved in negotiating peace with the opposing sides. She responded, "I remain ready and willing to assist in any and all areas that help promote further peace, stability, and progress. The security of my country and peace within our borders remains a very big concern for me." And now, on to Melissa.
Thank you, Irene, for this information. Now Jessica's going to tell us about what's going on in Brazil.
Thank you, Melissa. Today I'll be talking about national politics in Brazil. Voting is now obligated for all Brazilian residents that are literate and between the ages of 18 and 69. Anyone 16, 17, or over the age of 69 can choose to vote but is not obligated to do so. Despite having suffered centuries of political unrest and discrimination, Brazil now enjoys the political rule of a democratic government. More than 60% of the revenue of the government is from tax payments. The richest 10% of the people in Brazil have access to 40% of all the government's income. Now recently, Brazil's president has been accused of creative accounting. Brazil's political opposition plans to file a criminal complaint against President Dilma Rousseff next week, accusing her of manipulating accounts in recent years to meet accounting targets. A group of opposition parties led by the Brazilian Social Democratic Party will request that Brazil's general prosecutor investigate Rousseff for allegedly breaking the law with a series of measures popularly called creative accounting. The government has been accused of using money from the state-run financial institution to finance the treasury and make its end-year budget target. Rousseff's government has also been accused of hiding some of the details about its accounts ahead of presidential elections last October. She beat out the Democratic Party in a tight runoff vote. The presidential office did not comment on the Democratic Party's allegations. Rousseff appointed a new economy minister at the beginning of the year to shore up investor confidence. Rousseff has also come under fire as many politicians in her party and allied parties have been implicated in a corruption investigation into the state-run oil company Petrobras. Rousseff herself has not been named in the investigation, but former company executives have told investigators that construction companies paid millions of dollars in bribes to secure lucrative contracts. The Democratic Party's allegations come after it said it would not back up an impeachment proceeding against the president over the Petrobras scandal.
Thank you, Jessica, for updating us on Brazil's political situations. And now on to Melissa with more information about women's rights in Honduras today.
Thank you, Melissa. Lately, Honduras has been experiencing some issues with women's rights, especially violence. We can see it has increased a lot in the past years, and it still is today, according to Gilda Rivera, founding member of the Organization for Women's Rights in Honduras. Many organizations are protesting against the government because the government doesn't think women violence is a problem for the country. Here we can see some images from the protests that are going on right now in the country, especially in San Pedro Sula. Also, the country is experiencing social discrimination between men and women. Women are being paid less than men for the same job they're both doing. Last week, Ana Amenta Madrid, who works for the government, declared that the government is willing to make changes so that women can be equal to everyone else. She stated, "We have passed a law that declares that all men and women will have the same pay, which will eliminate social discrimination among them. We hope the situation gets better And now back to Melissa with information on some vacation places in Uruguay.
Thank you, Melissa. There are many beautiful places to visit in Uruguay on your summer vacation. For example, Palacio Salvo is a beautiful landmark featuring Italian Gothic style and a striking neo-romanticism. You can also visit Casa Pueblo, Carlos Miguel Paez's house that was converted into a museum. Another beautiful site is Punta del Diablo, a small village with about 850 residents. The most fascinating thing about this village is the small, colorful builds. Last summer, a lot of people came to Uruguay just to see the culture and monuments.
Thank you, Melissa, for sharing with us Uruguay's beautiful locations. After the break, we will give you a brief report on the weather and traffic in Colombia, and we will discuss the 2014 World Cup and its future events.
That smells good. What are you cooking?
Oh, this? I'm making beans. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
We're back on the Latin American news, and now to Irene with Colombia's weather report.
Thank you, Melissa. The weather forecast for this week in Bogotá shows temperatures ranging from the high 50s to the low 70s, with a low chance of rain. In sunnier Barranquilla, the weather will reach mid-90s and low 80s, although scattered rain should be expected. And now, with the traffic report. I am now reporting live from the Munarriz Bridge in Barranquilla, Colombia. Traffic has not been heavy, but it will start to pick up due to the accident that has occurred on the other side of the bridge. It is highly recommended that you take another route to avoid any other accidents. Have a safe day, and now back to the studio with Jessica for Sports News.
Thank you, Irene. Brazil has been privileged to take upon the 2014 FIFA World Cup for the second time in history. The games were held from the 12th of June to the 13th of July. This happened despite all odds of having stadiums ready during the tournament. But besides all the complications Brazil went through, this World Cup ended up being one of the most important in history, with the world left in suspense, relief, and happiness. The world was in astonishment in how welcoming we, the Brazilians, were to all the fans and players of the 32 nations attending this World Cup. Also, we were able to witness the first European team win on South American soil, which was Germany. This World Cup was exactly the type of tournament the world wanted and the people of Brazil needed. In a time of political stress, Brazil had an unexplainable defeat, but it was just wonderful being able to watch these 11 men play on the field. On top of that, the world was witnessing the thousands of screaming fans in the stands chanting for their home team. After all, why wouldn't we be screaming? This is a religion to them. This sport is something that they live for and die for. This sport for them, the Brazilian people, is a way to get out of the favelas and the slums. Who better to host it than the country that has won the cup the most and the one that treats this more than just a game?
I agree with your opinion. Thank you for watching the Latin American news with Melissa Martinez and Melissa Ubeda. Stay tuned for tomorrow's news report on more South American content. Have a good day.